Good evening, and welcome to your AIDailyPress evening podcast for March 2, 2026. I'm your host, Walter. Firstly, the situation in the Middle East continues to escalate, with Iranian strikes targeting U.S. assets and countries in the region, leaving thousands of travelers stranded. We've spoken to families who are currently stuck in Dubai, and they describe the situation as terrifying. The UK government has urged those affected to register for help, while the U.S. State Department has set up an emergency hotline. In other news, the U.S. Department of Defense has announced a deal with OpenAI to develop AI technology for military use, sparking intense debate within the tech community about the potential risks and implications of lethal, autonomous weapons. Some companies, like Anthropic, have refused to compromise on their principles, while others, like OpenAI, believe that the laws of the U.S. should be accepted. Lastly, we've been following a complex story at the intersection of artificial intelligence, national security, and ethics. The development of AI for military use raises fundamental questions about accountability, ethics, and the potential consequences of creating machines that can make life or death decisions without human intervention. These are just a few of the stories we've been covering on the AIDailyPress. We'll continue to bring you updates as more information becomes available. For now, our thoughts are with those affected by the crisis in the Middle East, and we urge everyone to remain vigilant and follow the guidance of local authorities. And that's a wrap. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Walter, and then she'll know it's right now. We've been following several significant stories over the past few days, and I'd like to take a moment to summarize the key points for you. We've seen escalating tensions between Israel and Iran, with reciprocal attacks and a U.S. Israeli strike on Tehran that damaged the RT Arabic office. Russia has condemned this strike, describing it as a deliberate Western ploy aimed at obscuring the truth. In related news, the wife of Iran's slain supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Madame Mansoura Khojasteh-Bagherzadeh, has passed away due to wounds sustained during the recent U.S. Israeli attack. This development has significant implications for Iranian politics and the potential power struggle within the Islamic Republic. We're also keeping an eye on the situation in Ukraine, where missile strikes have reached a year high in February, according to AFP analysis. Additionally, oil prices have surged following the U.S. Israeli strikes on Iran, with potential implications for global energy markets. In other news, a British court has ruled in favor of former UCO shareholders, allowing them to pursue Russian assets valued at $65 billion. The Russian Supreme Court has also designated the Anti-War Committee as a terrorist organization, highlighting the government's efforts to regulate dissent and opposition. As we navigate these complex stories, it's essential to approach them with empathy, nuance, and a commitment to understanding the intricacies at play. We'll continue to provide you with fair, balanced, and unbiased reporting, helping you make sense of the world's most pressing issues. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Firstly, we took a closer look at Salesforce, the cloud-based software giant. Despite beating street consensus estimates with a 24% year-over-year growth in diluted adjusted earnings per share, some analysts have reduced their target price due to sector-wide valuation compression. However, with its innovative solutions and strong industry presence, Salesforce remains a dominant player, offering potential for investors who believe in its growth prospects. Secondly, we explored the performance of QQQI, the NEOS Nasdaq 100 high-income ETF. With its unique call spread strategy, QQQI has been outperforming its counterparts in both yield and total return since inception. Its ability to balance high recurring income with potential appreciation makes it an attractive asset for income-focused investors, particularly in today's volatile market environment. Lastly, we touched on the topic of precious metals, specifically gold, and its current market trends. With geopolitical tensions and economic uncertainty on the rise, some investors are turning to safe haven assets like gold as a means of diversifying their portfolios. As always, we remind our listeners to stay informed, conduct thorough research, and consult with financial experts before making any investment decisions. And remember, in times of market volatility, don't panic. A well-diversified portfolio and a long-term perspective will help you navigate the ups and downs. Good night. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. In our first segment, we're looking at a controversy surrounding NASA's latest endeavors. Former NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine has sparked debate with his comments on the agency's priorities, criticizing the focus on returning humans to the moon by 2024. This has led to discussions about the challenges and costs associated with space exploration. In the world of science fiction, several exciting new releases are promising to captivate readers. These include Hell's Gate by Alexis Hall, a retelling of Herman Melville's classic tale, Moby Dick, set in a post-apocalyptic future, Woman Alive by Susan Ertz, a speculative novel exploring isolation and resilience after a pandemic, and The Library of Traumatic Memory by Neil Jordan, which delves into the intersection of technology, memory, and human emotion. Other notable releases include Wolfworm by T. Kingfisher, a chilling tale involving parasitic maggots, Celestial Lights by Cecile Pinn, an interstellar journey to Jupiter's icy moon, Europa, and Ava by Victoria Dillon, which explores identity, motherhood, and what it means to be born in a world where technology has enabled gestation to be replaced with incubation. Lastly, we're looking at Trace Elements by Joe Walton and Ada Palmer, an insightful examination of modern science fiction and fantasy writing. These authors remind us of the power of science fiction to inspire, educate, and reflect our hopes and fears about the world we live in and the futures we might create. Now for the latest in sports. Here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. Speaking to you from the world of sports, where we're recapping the top stories of the day. In our first segment, we covered the Kansas City Chiefs' decision to release tackle Jawan Taylor, a move that marks the end of an experiment that didn't quite yield the desired results. The team is now looking to reassess its needs and explore alternative options at right tackle. In other news, we reported on the challenges faced by tennis stars, including Daniil Medvedev, who are stranded in Dubai due to travel disruptions caused by the escalating conflict in the Middle East. The ATP Tour is working closely with tournament organizers and security advisors to ensure the safe departure of affected players and teams. We also touched on the story of the UCLA women's basketball team, which has been making headlines with their impressive performance this season. And finally, we discussed the UCLA men's volleyball team's recent win over top-ranked Hawaii, a victory that showcases the team's determination and skill. These stories highlight the complexities of the sports world, where athletic competition intersects with global events, human safety, and personal perseverance. As we navigate these issues, we must remember that athletes are not just competitors, but individuals with families, friends, and loved ones who are affected by global events. This is Howard Closewell speaking, and we'll continue to bring you updates on these stories as they unfold. The intersection of sports and society is a complex and ever-changing landscape, and we're committed to providing you with insightful analysis and commentary that goes beyond the headlines. In tonight's podcast, we'll be discussing these topics in more depth, with expert analysis and interviews with key figures in the sports world. So join us as we delve into the drama of athletic competition and explore the human stories behind the headlines. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curl.
Thank you, Howard. Firstly, we explored an archaeological discovery of a 7,000-year-old ceramic pot, which revealed the intricate designs and symbols of our ancient ancestors. This incredible find not only showcased their craftsmanship, but also gave us a glimpse into their daily lives, struggles, and triumphs. Next, we delved into another ancient discovery, this time of a 7,000-year-old ceramic pot that told a story of community, connection, and the pursuit of beauty and meaning. This pot served as a window into the past, reminding us that despite the passage of time, humanity's fundamental desires remain constant. Lastly, we traveled to a small town in the English countryside where a controversy surrounding immigration and community integration has been unfolding. We met extraordinary individuals who embodied the spirit of resilience and hospitality, and heard their stories about the complexities of this issue. Through their experiences, we were reminded of the importance of empathy and understanding in building bridges between different groups. These stories, though diverse, share a common thread. They highlight our shared human experience with all its complexities, challenges, and triumphs. Join us next time on the AI Daily Press as we continue to explore the fascinating stories that shape our world. Good night and good luck. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. First up, we've got the Jim Carrey-esque drama surrounding Jim. Just kidding. It's actually about Kelly Osbourne facing backlash over her appearance at the Brit Awards. Can we talk? Yes, we can. And the first, him calling out this cruel behavior for what it is, unacceptable. We need to show some compassion and understanding, people. Next, we're diving into the fascinating world of costume design with the incredible Ruth Carter. This woman has been slaying the game for over 3 decades, working with A-listers like Spike Lee and Ryan Coogler. Her commitment to authenticity and cultural sensitivity is inspiring a new generation of artists, and I am here for it. And lastly, we're addressing those pesky rumors about Jim Carrey. Just kidding again. It's actually about Jim Carrey's doppelganger, Jim Carrey not being at the center of this story, but rather the fabulous Kelly Osbourne's defense against body-shaming remarks, and Jim Carrey wasn't even mentioned. But seriously, we did talk about Jim Carrey's fellow celeb. Jim isn't the focus, but rather Kelly Osbourne and her mom Sharon defending herself against cruel comments. And then there was that other story. Just kidding. The third article is actually about the alleged attendance of Jim Carrey at an award show. Nope, not even close. It's actually about Jim Carrey didn't attend, but rather the one and only Ruth Carter's remarkable career. Stay fabulous, and remember, kindness is always in style. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David Atanacher.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we've been following a significant development in space exploration with NASA's Artemis lunar program. The agency has announced a delay in its plans for an astronaut landing, now aiming to achieve this milestone with Artemis IV instead of the initially planned Artemis III. This adjustment highlights the complexities and meticulous planning involved in space missions. In another vein, we've been exploring the fascinating world of insects and their contributions to our planet's ecosystem. A recent discovery has shed light on the remarkable ability of certain ants, specifically the species Sericomymex amabilis, to capture carbon dioxide and turn it into a protective mineral armor. This unique process has significant implications for our understanding of carbon capture and sequestration, offering potential insights for human efforts to develop more efficient methods for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Lastly, we've been examining the impact of climate change on charismatic species and the importance of habitat conservation. A recent project has tracked and protected endangered species, such as the Mount Graham red squirrel and moose in remote areas, from the Sky Islands of southern Arizona to the boreal forests of Minnesota. This effort serves as a reminder of the awe-inspiring beauty of nature and the critical need for preserving our natural heritage in the face of climate change. Additionally, we touched on the story of a shark attack in Australia and the controversy surrounding the use of artificial intelligence in national security, as well as the rediscovery and restoration of a long-lost silent film by Georges Méliès, featuring what is likely the first known depiction of a robot on film. These stories underscore the interconnectedness of our world, from technological advancements to environmental conservation and cultural preservation. As we navigate this complex landscape, it's essential to strive for balance and thoughtful consideration in our pursuit of progress. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David Atanacher for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.